when some of that scene was happening?
Well, I was. It was really, first I was just there shopping, and I actually, prefer to shop at the local farmers market on Grand Lake Avenue here on Saturdays, and the Oakland DMV farmers market on Sundays. Everyone should know about that. The Fat Beats farmers market, the PHATBEETS farmers market.
Okay,
but
okay.
Yes, I was shopping at Whole Foods. Sometimes I shop there, and I was getting some organic oranges, and I just walked out into the front of the store after I passed the cashier. And I had thought maybe I'd walk just to see what was happening in Occupy Oakland. Well, that energy is happening here, kind of the quickening that David, Icke, and Alex were talking about. Kind of a lot happening at the same time. So, but before I could even start walking down towards where I thought the main protests were, I heard some loud sounds, and I turned, and then there was a relatively small but significant crowd of people coming over, and mostly dressed in black and some masked and hiding their identity. And
Wait a minute. Describe more. I'm sorry, Michael, didn't mean to interrupt, but you said they were dressed in black and wearing masks?
Yes.
Did it look like hoodies or sweatshirts, or was it uniforms? I mean, what kind of black dress were they wearing there?
Well, it's I guess. I mean, their actions said a lot more than their clothing.
Okay.
But I guess it's the style of the people that kind of unite to do these kinds of actions, and I'm sure they're a small number because they were far fewer than the thousands that were rallying in the peaceful way that Rachel was talking about.
But it's odd. I mean, a group of people dressed in black wearing masks just assaulting a Whole Foods.
They were masks kind of like covered up their nose and down, kind of like they wrapped a black kind of sweater around their face.
Okay.
I just feel it was so, I'm not sure what the goal is. I mean, they were so immature to not be seen. I think maturity is like having mutuality and respect and constructive relationships with one another. And I feel like these people, I didn't sense any maturity from them.
Well, what did they do? What were their actions, Michael?
Well, here's what I saw. Kicking in the little fence that had separated the sort of outdoor eating cafe at the Whole Foods from the sidewalk, kicked in that fence, then started kind of tossing buckets of paint at the windows and walls of the outside of the Whole Foods, and then hitting the windows and throwing the tables and chairs from that little outdoor cafe at the Whole Foods, glass front, and shattered one of them. This left the security of Whole Foods inside, closing the doors, shutting it down, and keeping customers inside who were there for about 20 minutes inside and couldn't leave the Whole Foods.
Trapped in Whole Foods.
Right.
It's like a cheap horror film.
Yeah.
All right, so they were smashing in the windows. I mean, it's not. I don't know why I'm laughing. I mean, it's a little. It's very strange that this was going on. Number one, why would they target Whole Foods? Why would they wear masks? I mean, Whole Foods seems like it's the place where a lot of the people who are protesting would be customers. Why would they target Whole Foods? Why wouldn't they go attack a bank or something?
I don't think we can connect the people that were mainly marching and rallying and protesting with these individuals. I don't think they have the same philosophy. I think this was very opportunistic because it's not what I've seen on TV at any other city's Occupy protest.
Yeah.
And I don't believe they share the respect for life and this respect for one another that the whole Occupy process seems to be based on.
Did you get any sense of how old the members of this group were? Did they look like teenagers, in the way they moved and the way they walked, or did they look older?
I'd say teenagers, maybe like early 20s at the most. I mean, that's what I sense. Like rebellious college students or high school dropouts.
Okay, so maybe some of what we saw in London a few months ago with the UK riots and the burning of their own city, did it seem like it was just an expression of destructive outrage?
Yeah, that's a far better comparison. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's really weird. I mean, so you got this one group that's setting up an altar and drinking tea, and they've got peace signs and all this, and then you have this other group of kids wearing black and black masks that are bashing in windows at at Whole Foods. Were there any police there? What happened next?
Well, there weren't police until way later. I actually stayed around. I did some other news interviews. I did these news interviews, and the police eventually came to investigate, kind of get evidence, see what they could get. I thought it was weird that there were no police there. The whole thing was it felt like a mob. I actually backed way away when I saw what was going to happen, because it was a little bit startling, and the police might have served a purpose there.
Yeah, that does seem odd. I mean, you did have a bag of oranges, though. You could have started to throw those in your defense. You're armed with oranges in Oakland. Organic oranges. Hit them upside the head with some non-GMO oranges. That might knock some sense into them, huh?
Yeah, armed with oranges. At least it's alliteration. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. That's what we got to do. It's like a food fight now. They smash in a window. You hit them with some celery bunches right over the head. So that way you're stalking them. You see how that works?
Right.
Cheap humor. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, I know that a lot of even amongst this small group, some people try to stop them from being so destructive. So I don't know. Maybe we need a lot better way to channel energy that young people have. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does seem very odd, and you may not like this comment, but all you need to stop that is one Whole Foods employee with packing a concealed weapon, and that would take care of the whole thing right there. I know that's not the Oakland way to address issues, but since I'm talking to you from Texas, that's the Texas way to address violence. But obviously, none of us want to promote violence, so I sort of say that in jest. But so, where do you think this is all heading, though, in Oakland, Michael?
Well, kind of like death and taxes. I don't think this small group of they wrote this anarchy symbol on the Whole Foods too. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. So it's like, I think I focus my energy on what's important and what I think is constructive. And I think the labeling GMO campaign in California, I'm a definite activist in that, where I'll be helping get people who are inspired by the vision of labeling GMOs in California to then collect signatures. We need 800,000 signatures in the state between the first day we can start, January 1st, and some date shortly after that. So it's important. That's where that's where I want to go. I heard something really interesting. I heard a guy named Woody Tash say something that GMOs are the derivatives of basically exploitation of food. Just like derivatives were like the tool that created all this financial crash.
Yeah.
GMOs are like tinkering and toying with a system that has naturally integrity. Food is naturally integrity, but when you do GMOs, you create a system that skews it off its integrity, and you can lead to the whole collapse of life.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor. If money is like food, then derivatives are like GMOs. Yeah, that sounds good. That makes a lot of sense. Michael, I want to thank you for taking your time to join us here. Appreciate all your comments. By the way, is there a blog or something you have where people can follow more of your observations there?
Yeah, I have a blog. It's actually at www.rawalityhouse.us. That's like a reality, but it's Rawality House, RAWALITY house.us. And that's our project for helping actually bring more raw food consciousness into the Oakland and East Bay area.
All right. Very, very good. Fantastic. Hopefully people got that URL. I didn't catch it all.
Since you interviewed me about Occupy, I might as well tell you that just for the fun of it, I got the other website that also goes to the same site.
Yeah.
I got rawcupyoakland.com, I think. Yeah.
Rawcupyoakland.com.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
But it also goes to the Reality House.
Okay. Well, very good. I want to thank you, Michael, for joining us. Been a pleasure chatting with you here on the InfoWars Money Bomb.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, man. Take care. All right. And for all the regular InfoWars listeners, the Alex Jones fans, I know we just did 3 segments there talking to people from Oakland, 3 different guests we have lined up. And, I think it's really important to bring in their frontline perspective on exactly what's happening there. These are people who are in the raw foods community. They're in the healthy eating community, and they believe in liberty, and they believe in freedom, and they believe in honesty, especially corporate transparency. So what's wonderful about all of this is that these are the same people who, once they understand issues like the Federal Reserve, they will naturally oppose that kind of a fraudulent modification of the money supply that the Fed is doing. So really, this is not about left versus right. This is not about progressive versus conservative. This is about really reality versus the fictions that the corporations and the controllers and the globalists are trying to weave into your heads like a mental viral infection, like a mental inoculation of a deadly cognitive meme of sorts. I mean, it's really about truth versus fiction. And the truth is that the controllers out there don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to do what we're doing, which is to spread truth, to spread information, to ask great questions. They don't want InfoWars to succeed. You can bet on that. And what better reason to go to InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, and you can help defeat the globalists by supporting this organization and the work that it does. Again, it's a fantastic group. It's just a super dedicated group of people who are going to be here for the next just many, many hours coming up here, bringing you more great information. And I really hope to be working with this group long term to help spread the word about vaccines, the dangers of vaccines, the GMOs, food freedom, health freedom, all of these crucial issues that they have been gracious enough to invite me in to comment on. It's always an honor to be here as part of InfoWars, bringing you that important information. Now, I got a couple of news items for you. Some of these will really give you quite a chuckle. And then we're going to go in a few minutes to Robert Scott Bell. He's also on the GCN radio network. He has a Sunday show there called the Robert Scott Bell Show. And he's going to be joining us to give us an update on the Raw Milk Freedom Riders event that just took place 2 days ago in front of the FDA, where courageous raw milk moms were eating milk and cookies in front of the FDA, or as Alex would say, Al-Qaeda cookies in front of the FDA. And that's something that we did. We also announced, InfoWars covered that before it took place. A lot of very important news about what took place there and the FDA's response to that. But first, we've got some interesting news. Here's something. A couple was lost in an apple orchard, and they had to call 911. Now, I don't know if this was mentioned on the show in the last couple of days. This news is about 2 days old. But the reason I'm mentioning this, check this out. A couple from, guess what, Massachusetts got lost in an apple orchard. Oh, yeah, here we go. Show the picture. There it is. There's the apple orchard. It is about 200 acres of apples, apple trees. And 200 acres is not that big of an orchard. Jaron says, couldn't you just eat your way out of it? Right, exactly. Yeah, follow the trail as long as you can.